On April 25th of 2014, the city of Flint, Michigan changed their water supply from the Detroit Supply Lake Huron to the Flint River. The switch in the water distribution caused the pipes to leak or leach lead into the water supply, affecting the whole city, creating probably one of the biggest and more impactful water crises in the United States. This is roughly what happened.
Okay, watch out.
Watch out. Flint could have kept purchasing the water from the Detroit Water and Sewage Department, which also get their water from Lake Huron, or treat their own water from the Flint River. Looks kind of old-timey, and it has a lot to do with the history of Flint, you know? Because at the beginning, Flint was a thriving city when it comes to the automotive industry, you know? They had apparently the big three, which is Ford, Buick, and which is the other one? Lincoln?
No, not Lincoln. Ford, Buick. Not Dodge.
Dodge? No, that's
not
Ford.
Dodge.
Yeah. Anyway, another company, right? That manufactures automotive vehicles here in the United States. So back then, they three operated and they had business here in Flint, you know, providing a lot of source investment opportunities, job opportunities, you know, which turned Flint into a really thriving city, providing a lot of form of employment for the people residing here. However, at some point in time, the big three decided to leave. You know, they left the city, they moved operations, they ceased all operations here, which some people residing here in Flint mentioned that is probably when everything started to go down here in Flint, Michigan, you know, because then it left all the employment opportunities, you know, source of income. There is no money developing the city either anymore. So all those things, those were factors that affected or impacted the city of Flint a lot, you know. That is probably just the very first case of Flint having an economic crisis, but unfortunately it wasn't over for the city of Flint. Trying to cut costs, the city of Flint decided to change the water source or the water supplies from Lake Huron, which is currently supplying the water to Detroit, to the Flint River on April 25th, 2014. So this poorly designed plan to change the water system while cutting costs had immediate consequences. Pipes started to leach lead and other contaminants into the drinking water of the city. Adding to that the incapacity of treat water properly, this immediately backfired and affected the population of Flint. To get attention on the water crisis, Flint residents began complaining about the appearance, color, smell, and taste of the water almost immediately after the city did the switch from the water source from the Lake Huron to the Flint River.
Yeah.
Get this fucking slum. Flint residents began to bring these color water samples to the city council meeting. However, officials initially dismissed their complaints. It was only when researchers like pediatrician Monahan and Atisha publicized evidence of elevated lead levels in children's blood that the crisis gained widespread national attention and forced officials to acknowledge the problem. Now, on January 2025, a lot of parts of the city of Flint look like that. Kind of like that. Just abandoned, you know. I heard that when the water crisis was at its peak, you know, especially the city officials were denying there was an issue with the water happening. A lot of people started leaving their houses, you know, and moving to other places, basically. That's why a lot of parts of the city look abandoned, almost as if it was a ghost town. It's not a ghost town though, because the city of Flint has now become a college town. And that's probably an effort from the city officials to try to bring economy back into the town and try to get families to move back into the town, you know? But based on some of the research that I was doing, as of 2023, I don't know as of now, 2025, but as of 2023, it said that 95% of the pipes have been completely replaced here in Flint. And around $600 million in settlements have been provided to multiple families, focusing more on families with children. But so far we're in an area of Flint that I feel like represent a lot of what's been happening here. You know, a lot of people leaving the city, trying to find somewhere else, and what the city is trying to do by bringing people or families back into the city. We're on a side of town that it is actually pretty empty, and there are a lot of houses that are abandoned at this point, you know. Right there is one. There's another abandoned house right here. And it looks old and deteriorated, you know. Maybe there was a business here back then. This says walk-ins right here. They had an old photography studio right here. At the end, it's like a snowball effect, you know. If people leave, there is nobody putting money into the economy, you know. And if there is nobody putting money into the economy, the local business are gonna disappear, which is pretty much what has probably happened here in Flint. And that comes back to my point that I was trying to say, that they are trying to turn Flint into a college town to try to drive families back here into the town to try to incentivize the economy, you know. But as of 2025, it seems the water here in Flint has met the federal requirements to be consumable water. But like I was saying, due to the fact that since the very beginning of the crisis, the government decided to foreshadow the crisis. Now there's a lot of distrust of the government, you know. They're not letting us pass, bro. They're looking at us weird right here. I'm scared from a napkin. Just gonna wait for this bus, run past. You gotta pay attention, bro.
Yeah. POV, you got ran over. There's a literal POV.
Yeah, there's another flower business that run out. Who knows how long ago? Most of the population in Flint is predominantly black, it's black family. And at the time of the crisis in 2014, 40% of the population in Flint were living in poverty. Add to that the fact that the United States has the most expensive healthcare system in the world, Unfortunately, those families that were directly affected by the water crisis, they were fucked, They had no opportunities to come over this water crisis. That's why after different lawsuits, the government has issued around $600 million in settlements that are being targeted mostly for families with children, since those were the ones that were more affected the most on the water crisis. Now, this is a very interesting street that we found yesterday, and it paints a quite accurate landscape on those families moving from Flint, because so many houses that we're gonna walk by right now, they are empty, they are abandoned, they are deplored, these houses look like they are falling down, Now, mind you, there are some people living in some of those houses, but also some others like this one, as you can see. That house is completely falling down, bro. Nobody will live in there. I mean, I will.
say, hey, I want to hear that joke. One more time.
Somebody might own those houses, not trespassing. They are not. But there's no investment, You know how normal it is for cities to get gentrified? It is a lot to the fact that, yes, there is some gentrification happening in Flint, for example, in the main downtown. You can actually see that there has been a lot of investment to the infrastructure. You can in fact see some business that they look brand new, that they have been recently built. But there are some other areas in the city that actually look completely abandoned, even by developers, and investors, like this area. How come there's nobody interested in buying some of those houses and trying to develop those houses, For example, here this is a very interesting part of this street, in Flint. You can see.
Oh shit! Oh, he was out the gate. There's
an abandoned dog right there.
I thought he was out the gate.
I was scared. There was no gate.
I was like, oh shit.
I was about to
The
run.
Flint dog, bro. The Flint dog.
Now, that house is kind of abandoned. I don't think it's abandoned, honestly. But it looks like it. This is definitely abandoned, bro. There is no way somebody's living in here. I mean, I will. There's another, but somebody does. I can see car parked right outside. But that house is absolutely abandoned. They were even gonna take it with them, It's on a trailer and shit,
Wait, hold on. Let me record that.
What I was trying to say is that there is probably no motivation on investing on Flint because it already has the history of the water crisis, So people is afraid on coming over, and facing the same issues, because the people here in Flint, they even 10 years later, 11 years later, and with 95% of the pipe replaced, people still do not feel confident in the government and confident or comfortable drinking the water in the city, So yeah, maybe Flint is gonna have to live like this, People will never forget the Flint water crisis, and because of that, there will always be a lack of investment in Flint.